Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well, and today we're going to talk about when will I sell Tattooed Chef stock. And if you are a Tattooed Chef shareholder, I'm sure you're doing well out there at the moment. But because of that reason and Tattooed Chef stock doing very well, what tends to happen when I have a stock or I own a stock that I talk about and it starts going up is quite often the comments start sneaking in on the YouTube videos, or there might be a couple of DMs on Instagram, and they start getting more and more as it goes up and up and up. When should I start considering selling some of my Tattooed Chef stock or selling all of my shares in Tattooed Chef? So today, what I thought I'd do before them questions get more and more in case it keeps going up, is I would talk about when or what my plan is for selling Tattooed Chef stock. So if this video is helpful, please hit the like button. If you're new and you find this video helpful, please subscribe. And if you are a Patreon member, go check out the new exclusive video that has just gone up, which is my US stock market portfolio review. And if you do want to join the Patreon to watch this exclusive content or other exclusive content, make sure you join through the link in the description. And you'll be able to watch that video and also talk to 600 Discord members and also get my buy and sell alerts in real time. But we'll get stuck on the video today about when will I sell my Tattooed Chef stock. So first of all, we're going to strip it back to basics, and we're going to go, first of all, what is my game plan when I get into stocks? What is my investing philosophy? Now, probably some of you guys watching this probably don't have the same investing philosophy as me and have a different game plan. For me personally, what I have always done, and if you've been on the channel for a while, you can know this. If you're new, it might be helpful just for me to say this. My investing philosophy is to look for a company or a stock, and I look at the stock and think, can that value of that stock double? Can I get 100% return on that investment in the next 2 to 5 years? So yeah, I'm looking more for the share price to go up 100% in the next 2 to 5 years. Sometimes we can hit it before the 2 years, and that's a home run, but most of the time it's in that 2 to 5 year range, and that kind of covers quite a few things in case we have a bit of a downtrending market and everything like that. And personally for me, I've always stuck 2 to 5 years just because I think that's a good range. I think past 5 years it sometimes gets a bit blurry when investing. You know, if you went back to 2016, 5 years ago, who would have thought Tesla would be one of the biggest companies in the world producing all these electric cars? And by that time as well, we would have had a pandemic that pretty much shut down the whole world for 2 years. You know, there's a lot of things that can start happening that maybe a few people would have gone, oh, I predicted that, but there's a few things that will take you by surprise, and certain industries will change quite quick as well. So that's why I've always kind of gone for 2 to 5 years. Don't get me wrong, there's probably a few companies that if I do really like, I'll probably hold for even longer than 5 years. But that's mainly what I base it on, and that's my investing philosophy. There's people, and people who probably watch this video, that probably have total different philosophies to that. Some people might be thinking, I'm going to hold all these stocks forever. Some might be thinking, oh, you know, I'm only going to hold certain stocks for maybe a year or even shorter than that. Some people might be thinking about, I just want to collect dividends. So there's probably a different wide audience watching this video. You know, I'm open-minded. I know quite a few people won't be thinking the same way as me when investing into the stock market. There'll be certain stocks that I pick that people go, oh, you're an idiot, Jacob, for buying that one. And that's what makes us all different. But I do think that quite often, even though there's people that probably watch this video that maybe don't agree with all my picks, I think people do appreciate that I try and say, this is how I invest, and this is the reason why I'm buying this company, and these are the reasons why I think it will match my investing philosophy and I'll make some good money on it. And I think that's why people do watch them, but I'm not going to be stupid and narrow-minded to think that everyone invests the same way as what I do, because they don't. But yeah, going back to my investing philosophy in general, and the reason why I bought Tattooed Chef is I bought it for a 2 to 5 year hold, and I think I can make 100% return on the company. So with that in mind, going into my Tattooed Chef Target, I bought the stock at $17. So considering my investing philosophy, I do think I am at least minimum going to get $34 for this company in the next 2 to 5 years when I want to sell it. Now, with a few of these companies, there's a certain few companies that I actually buy and I go, yeah, I can at least get $34, but some positions I am quite bullish on, and I believe that they could even perform better than 100% return. So an example right now is Tattooed Chef. It's one of my biggest positions. It's one of my high convictions plays since I started buying this, I think in October last year. And overall, my price target that I do expect to get at least is $60 on this one. So that's probably my more bullish price target, but minimum I expect to get from this company in the next 2 to 5 years is $34. Now, considering that, obviously I bought at $17, it's now at $22, and I think I'm up about 30% at the moment on the company. Considering all that, that means that still in the next 2 to 5 years, I believe I can get a 55% return minimum. So for me, considering it's selling exactly right now, I'm selling when I think there's still plenty of upside in this stock. So for me to sell right now is not for me, because I still think there's plenty of upside on the minimum case. So we'd have to even get a lot closer to 34 for me to even consider it. Because then if I was to sell, what am I going to do? I'm just going to have cash on the side. I'd have to try find another company that I can make a good money on. And when I think even at 34, I potentially could even miss out on any more gains. It just doesn't sit with me to sell this company right now at $22, and I'm not really considering it at the moment. Now, this is another thing that you might want to consider is timing the market. Now, personally for me, I don't like to time the market. There's a few people here that could sell at $22. If you sell at $22, it's your money at the end of the day. We're all here to make money. I'm here to make money. You're here to make money. It's probably why you're investing. I hope it's why you're investing. If you are selling your stock right now, you could sell your stock and you could make money, and next week, next month, the stock could go down and you look a genius. But the thing as well with me is that if I do sell this stock at $22, I could potentially miss out on a lot of upside here, and I could take a 30% gain on the company, but I could potentially miss out a lot more gains. And a prime example for that is my best performing stocks in the stock market portfolio. Now, I'm not saying Tattoo Chef could necessarily go do this in the next coming few weeks, few months, few years, but if I look at my best performing stocks in my stock market portfolios this year it's been S4 Capital, which if I sold at a 20-30% gain earlier this year, I would have missed out on a massive 40% gain since like May time. Greggs, if I sold at a 20-30% gain, I would have missed out nearly 100% gain out on this year, one of my other best performers on my UK portfolio. And my best performing US stock, InMode, same again, if I kind of did this and sold out now at a 20-30% gain right now, I would have missed out on, I think, about over 200% return on that one. So sometimes it might pay off in the short term to try and time the market, but it's pretty much gambling. It's a 50-50 shot whether it goes up or down. For me, I'm more focused on not making them 20-30% returns. That's nothing compared to so far this year, S4 Capital, a company that I've only held for 6 months, up 70%. Greggs, a company that I've held for about a year and 4 months, over 120% return on that one. InMode, a company that I've owned again for about a year and 4 months, 5 months, same again, 290% return on that one. So I could try time the market on this one, and maybe it would be in a few months, it might be hindsight, it probably would have been a good decision to sell it. But at the same time, timing the market takes away from that potential of just buying, holding, and getting really big, massive returns in the stock. And that could easily happen with this one, because I think it's a really good company. And like I said, in the long term, the minimum I'm expecting to get is $34. So for me personally, to try time the market now doesn't justify the potential massive gains that I could get in the long term. Now, with that being said, there is a few other things to consider. Now, more than likely, you could say that the jump at the moment in the share price is either, retail investors coming in, buying in, thinking, oh, what an amazing company. It could be institutions going, we need to own that Tattoo Chef. Or probably the main reason why, more than likely, is a bit trending on Wall Street bets at the moment. A lot of Wall Street bets are coming into this stock and buying the company. Now, like I said, that's short term. It could go higher. It could go lower from here. We don't know. Short term, I'm not a short term investor. I'm a long term investor, 2 to 5 years. But there is a point where it does get to where Tattoo Chef goes up so much in value that it's pricing in 2 years growth, 3 years growth, 4 years growth, 5 years growth, and then I have to consider selling stock, because there's no point me, who owns it at $17, if it went to $34 next week, I thought it would get there in 2, 3, 4, 5 years time. So if I'm buying a company now, and the price goes to where I think it would be in 2 years time, 3 years time, and the fundamentals haven't changed, there's probably a little bit of consideration there, you should probably consider selling the stock. If it got to, $34 in 3 years' time, then I'd probably reassess that and go, oh, have the fundamentals got stronger? If the fundamentals have got stronger, I'd probably end up holding this company maybe a bit longer, because I think, okay, now it's got to the share price in 3 years' time, look further ahead, where do I see it going now? I might end up holding it a bit longer and reassess it from there. But when nothing's changed in the company, and the company that I bought for $17, I think I've had this since October last year, and within 10, 11 months, it jumps up to $34, and the company's now worth double than what it was in 11 months. Then you do have to kind of reconsider, is this valuation a little bit high? Is it good to maybe take some money off the table? And that would be the only kind of thing where I then would go consider. At $34, that would be the point where if it got to $34 in the next week, couple of months, I would consider, okay, that's a big jump. Maybe do I trim the position slightly, take a bit of profit off the table? Probably an unrealistic jump, maybe a bit of a hype jump. Especially if we start saying, oh, the company that I held at $17 is at $60, then that's my price target for pretty much the next 2 to 5 years, probably more towards the 5-year range. If the company's trading at where I thought it would be in 5 years' time, then I would have to really consider, well, what's the point of holding it? And that would be more towards the price range where I expect it to be in a few years' time. If it gets here next week, next month, that is probably for me where I would reconsider selling the company, because that's why we do it. I know that there'd be part of me inside that goes, oh, but I love the company. But we're all here to make money, and we're all investing into companies and hoping they go up in value. And if you are making good money on a valuation that you thought it would be there 2, 3, 4, 5 years' time, as much as you love a company, you can't get too emotionally attached to it, because you have just made good money on your investment, and you've always got to reconsider that sort of mindset as well. It's like, let's say you were saving up for a dream car for many years, and you eventually go and buy that dream car. Let's say you pay $30,000 for it. You drive that dream car, the next day you go to the shop, and then you come back and there's a man near the car, and he says, oh, I really love your dream car. Well, you probably won't know it's your dream car, but I really love your car. I'll give you $30,000 for it. Well, you probably go, no, because I just paid for that yesterday. He goes, well, I'll give you $40,000 for it. Then you go, it's $10,000 more than what I paid for it, but I do love the car. It might go up in value to that in a few years. I'm going to leave it. If he then goes, I'll give you $60,000 for it, there's some point in you that would be crazy to go double my investment on that dream car. Yeah, I might not be able to get another one of these, or I might be able to not get a similar one, but it's double what my investment was. If he offers you 90 grand, 120 grand, there's a cut-off point where you go, there's a sum where you'd go, I'm going to walk away from it. And it's the same with investing into stocks. There's some point where you invest your hard-earned money into a company. You've got to have a cut-off point where you go, that's where I want to sell it, because there's no point doing it otherwise. So for me, when I look at that, when it's at $17, when it's now at 22 and I'm up 30%, I still think there's 55% upside I can make this in the long run. Like I said, you start giving me $22, goes from $22 to $34. I consider maybe, the $30 range is where I start considering, is it time to start trimming some of the position for me personally? I won't trim it 20% up, 30% up. The only reason I would trim a position being up just that much would be that my allocation doesn't fit my stock market portfolio. That would be the only time I would consider selling some. When we start talking 34, where I expect it to be in, a bit longer period, then I consider. I think if you start talking $60, which I don't think it will do, I'm not saying it will go up to $60 tomorrow or next month, but if it got to $60, then I'm like, well, that's my price target for like the next 5 years. So it'd be, bonkers for me probably not to select that range, but I don't think it would ever get there. If it ever got there, I'd have to make another video on this talking about where I'm at with it. But that's kind of my plan at the moment. That's where I'm at with Tattoo Chef. Obviously, I'm way off anywhere where I would personally consider selling some stock, but as always, there probably would be a point where I do consider it, but with the jump that it's on, it's still way far off where I'd personally consider selling some shares in this one. And hopefully for you guys that were maybe considering that one or wondering what my opinion was on Tattoo Chef and when I would sell it, hopefully that video kind of clears a few things up. So hope it was useful. If it was, hit the like button, and I'll see you next video.